overall record and the 3-4 conference mark under head coach Aaron Kelton. The Tigers are eager to showcase their prowess. Notably, they boasted the league's best scoring defense, third best passing defense, and passing completion in 2022. This achievement is credited to 5 preseason selections: offensive lineman Kyle Frazier and Ryan Adams, running back Shamarcus Poole, and kicker Kenneth Lockhart. Savannah State kicks off their 2023 season with a road game against Southeastern University on September 2nd, followed by a clash with Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach on September 9th. The Tigers' first home game takes place on September 16th at Theodore A. Wright Stadium, where they face Clark Atlanta University. Landing at a solid number 4 in this year's preseason rankings are the Wildcats of Fort Valley State University, led by second-year coach Sean Gibb. The Wildcats aim to build upon their remarkable 8-2 campaign last fall, which marked the program's best season in a decade. The team flaunts an impressive roster with 10 players selected for the 2023 preseason team, including tight end Gentry Sparks, wide receiver Corinthians Edmonds, offensive lineman Jameel Jackson, defensive lineman Tim Alderman, linebackers Kentrell Lawson and Diallo Mosley, defensive back Landon Austin, punt returner Hakeem Ellington, kick returner Justin Harris, and the preseason Offensive Player of the Year, quarterback Kelvin Durham. For the third consecutive year, the Wildcats commence their 2023 schedule with the Red Tails Classic against Tuskegee University in Montgomery, Alabama on September 2nd. They then travel to Panther Stadium to face Clark Atlanta on September 9th, before welcoming the Tigers of Edward Waters to the Valley on September 16th for the first time since their last meeting in 2009. Debuting at an impressive number 3 in this year's preseason poll, we have Tuskegee University. The Golden Tigers showcased their prowess last season by concluding with an unblemished 7-0 record in conference play and an 8-2 overall record, securing a spot in the championship game. Now, under the leadership of football alumnus and former offensive coordinator Aaron James, who embarks on his first season as head coach, Tuskegee aims for a different outcome this year. The team boasts 6 returning honorees on the preseason team: defensive lineman Jeremy Dees, linebacker Vincent Hill, punter Ryan Duff, wide receiver Antonio Meeks, and defensive back Antonio Kennan Jr. The Golden Tigers commence their season on Sunday, September 3rd in Montgomery, Alabama, where they face Fort Valley State University in the Red Tails Classic, an exciting start to their campaign. Albany State makes a triumphant return as a top contender in this year's preseason poll, securing an impressive number 2 ranking. The Golden Rams concluded their 2022 campaign with a solid overall record of 7-3 and a conference record of 5-2. Now, under the guidance of their new head coach, Quinn Gray Sr., the Golden Rams welcome back 6 standout players on the SIAC preseason team. Offensive lineman Josh Simon, defensive back Jareed Turner, defensive lineman Jalen Pugh, running back Cameron Ward, punt returner Rashad Jordan, and quarterback Deontay Panu. The Golden Rams Cavs kick off their highly anticipated 2023 season on August 31st, hitting the road to face Tuskegee University. They then return home for an exciting clash against Savannah State on September 9th. Debuting at the coveted #1 spot in this year's preseason poll are the Tigers of Benedict College. After an extraordinary 2022 season, the Tigers are predicted to repeat as SIAC champions, backed by their dominant 11-1 overall performance and a flawless 7-0 conference record. The Tigers led the league in almost every category, scoring over 35 points per game and accumulating an impressive total of 1,950 rushing yards. Their exceptional accomplishments extended beyond the field as the team achieved outstanding academic success with A's and B's, improving their team GPA and celebrating the graduation of over 20 players under the leadership of 2022 SIAC and AFCA Region 2 Coach of the Year, Janice Berry. The Tigers clinched their first SIAC football championship. This season, the Tigers boast a return of majority of their key players, including a formidable defense that ranks 7th nationally in total defense and 3rd in passing yards allowed. Notable returners include running backs Noah Zaire Scotland and Deandra Duhart, offensive lineman Mitchell Roman and Roger Smith, defensive lineman Jordan Broughton and Aaron Miller, linebacker Dietrich Starks, defensive back Joshua Hayward, and the SIAC preseason defensive player of the year, Lubert Danellis. What will be the story of 2023? Will it be the tale of underdogs or re-emergence of powerhouses? Whatever the story will be, we'll all watch it unfold week by week until one team reigns supreme on November 11th. Each week we learn, get better, play harder, but most importantly, remember that we're the SIAC and leaders rise here.
Awesome. If we could give all of our teams a round of applause. We are very much looking forward to what everyone has in store this season. So before we continue the program, I'd like to take this time to recognize a few of our end of the year awards from last year. After their recognition, if we could give each award winner a round of applause. Starting with our Citizenship Award. So this award, the student athletes around the conference through their SIAC programs competed annually to acquire points by completing community service projects and other initiatives on campus in their community. The SIAC, whose goal is to empower surrounding communities, launched the Citizenship Award to annually recognize the athletic department that best exemplified the spirit of community and demonstrates values of volunteer community service and engagement. This year's Citizenship Award winner is the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. If we could give them a round of applause. Awesome. Our next award is the Commissioner's Cup. So the recipient of the Commissioner's Cup is based on a point system, reflecting the place of the finish of each team in conference play. The coveted Commissioner's Cup is presented to the athletic department within the conference that has excelled in both men's and women's sports. This year's Men and Women's Commissioner's Cup Awards are presented to none other than the Tigers of Benedict College. If we could give them a round of applause. Congratulations. And the last award that I will recognize is our Man and Woman of the Year Award. So this is a fairly new award. We started it last year. But the Man and Woman of the Year Award recognizes the top female and male student athletes for their athletic academic, service, and leadership involvement. The winner of this year's SIAC Woman of the Year Award goes to a women's basketball graduate student at Tuskegee University and is also majoring in psychology, Miss Jatoria Willis. If we could give her a round of applause. And the winner of this year's Man of the Year Award goes to a baseball player at Kentucky State University, majoring in business administration, who was also named KSU's valedictorian for the class of 2023, Mr. Collier Higgs. If we could give him a round of applause as well. Awesome. So we'll have a chance to meet all of our honorees and accept their awards during the second half of today's program. So for the next half of our program, I'd like to take the time to introduce our host for this year's Coaches Interviews, Mr. James Barrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? 13 teams vying for a crown that'll make them king. Today we'll have an opportunity for each coach to come up and give their pitch on why their team will be number one. Coach Slater, before you come up, make sure you bring your helmet. Want each coach to make sure that they bring their war bonnet. That's what my old high school coach used to say, because you want people to know who's hitting you. So first up, we'll have the coach that has won everywhere he's gone, and he plans on winning here in Atlanta. Head coach Willie Slater. All right, Coach. First of all, this year is the legacy season for the Panthers. They're honoring the 1931 team, the Black Battalion. They're bringing all of their former teams together. How important is it to honor those former teams that have gone through Clark Atlanta University?
Well, history is very important. Even though it's the past, it's great to know where you came from. And so we're excited about that. And our young men are excited about that. And they're working hard to make sure we have a successful year.
When you look at the progress that you made in the spring, what did you learn about your football team?
Well, we kind of weeded out some guys. And we have a nucleus of some hard-working young men right now. We're excited about the way they performed on the football field as well as off the field. You know, we had over 32 guys to have a 3.0 or better, and we're excited about that. And we're looking forward to have, 20 guys graduate.
Very good. When you look at your quarterback situation, I think you have about 3 or 4 guys that are vying for that spot. Do you have a starter, or what are you doing in order to weed those guys out to find out who will be your signal call?
Well, we're working on that. I'm excited about that position. I think that we're definitely going to improve in that position, and I think we have some really good leaders there. And I'm excited about seeing what they're going to do this year.
Defensively, where do you think you stand, and what players are you counting on to lead your defense?
Well, we have one here right now. Cameron Ivey is over there. He's one of our defensive backs. He's one of our leaders. Offensively, we also have Roger West, he's a receiver for us. He's also another one of our leaders. So that's why they're here. They're leaders of this football team. And the football team is going to reflect their work ethic, which I think is great. But again, I'm excited about the possibilities of this team. And defensively, we're going to be young. Offensively, we got a little bit more experience coming back. But it'll look different than it did last year.
When you look at last season, you guys beat Edwards College, Allen, and you won homecoming against Savannah State. How much have you raised the expectations from your team from what you saw in the fall and also in the spring?
Well, you know, I've always believed this. I guess I learned kind of old school. You're going to have at least three close games. And if you can win all three of those close games, you're going to have a great year. But if you lose one, then, you know, it's a good year. If you lose two of them, you know, it's a mediocre year. If you don't win any of them, it's going to be just kind of like it was with us this year. We had an opportunity to win 3 games that we didn't. Kind of lost right at the end of the game. So we've got to improve in that area, and then defensively we got to improve on not giving up big plays. I think that was a major cause of a lot of things that we had to happen to us last year, too, giving up too many big plays. And offensively, we got to make sure we take care of the ball.
Last but not least, you open up on the road at Kentucky State on a Thursday night. How excited are you, and what concerns you have about taking your team on the road to start the season?
Well, I'm a little nervous. We don't know what they're going to be doing, you know. So anytime you go into that situation, you got to try to prepare for everything. And there's always going to be something that you didn't prepare for, and it's going to be how you're going to respond to that. But we're excited about the trip, but we kind of worry about the trip too.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much, and good luck to you this season. So we started with one of our seasoned veteran coaches, and now we come up to one of our newbies, our neophytes. Representing Kentucky State Thoroughbreds, head coach Felton Huggins, Jr. Coach, first of all, we need to talk about the gap. The G, the A, and the P. What does the gap mean, and what does it mean to closing the gap?
So for us, closing the gap is kind of our motto, kind of how we do things. So it's built off grit, attitude, and character. So pretty much grit deals with the mental and physical aspect of it. And we have a couple of certain pillars that we use between each aspect. So always being go mode, which is part of our attack mode. Being always on time. So always on time everywhere you be, whether you're going to the classroom, whether you're going to meetings, whether you're going to a doctor's appointment, making sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to do to make sure that we're in place where we need to be and take care of the things that we need to do. And just really, pretty much for us, it's just our pillars and our foundation, what our guys live by every day. And so for us, closing the gap is a mentality that we use, we like to go by, so our guys buy into it. It's a culture that we use around issues.
Very good. First of all, I also want to know about the importance of your team not practicing as scheduled in the spring. You pushed practice back by 2 weeks to focus on academics?
Yes, sir. So when I got the job there at K-State, I got the job in mid-March, and me and my defense coordinator, Coach Chambers, we got our grades back, and I wasn't really excited about that. I'm a family educator. My mom and dad went to HBCUs. They were both teachers. And so for me, going in there and preparing for spring, and I talked to a lot of coaches in the profession that I think highly revered of. And I was like, Coach Huggins, you can do that well, you can do that, you're going to be behind. But for me, in this profession, going out there and making our guys go practice, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom, that defeats the purpose, and we're not raising them or leading them to be leaders off the field. But for me, off the field is more important than on the field. So for me, I come to spring break for the first 2 weeks. I made our guys come in twice a day, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And they did study also on top of that. I made each and every kid come through that had D's and F's come through, and I had to literally make them all call up and most people do. And we made them sit down and tell them what was the issue, why they weren't doing what they were supposed to do in the classroom, and how they need to fix that. And we did, and so we ended up finishing with the best GPA we didn't finish there in years. We finished with a 2.91 GPA, we had over 65 kids on the team. Had over 31 kids with a 3.0 GPA, and I had 2 kids with a 4.0 GPA. So for us, it's off the field for us, it's more important than the field.
Very good. So, Coach, I need to know, as an offensive-minded person, how do you deprogram a school for the past few years has been known for the option, and you're trying to run something called the air raid?
Well, the good thing about that is I got some background in that. I got a little background in that. My first offense coordinator job, I got a chance to do on my own with Coach Office at the university. And so they were a triple option, spread triple option team. So got a chance to go in and kind of change that whole culture. And literally, it's a lot of work. So for us, it's just going back and just going to the basics. So for us, we like to go into the things, and then my DC and all of our coaches go into our talking to our kids like they have to know absolutely nothing. So we like to teach them from the ground up. And so for us, it's going in there and teaching about how wide is the football field, where the hash marks at. We go teach the fronts, gaps, everything. We go into a season, we go into a camp thinking our kids absolutely about to know nothing. And then we like to teach them from the ground up, and that's how we try to build our guys up. And so we've been successful with that, and we're going to hopefully be successful at K-State.
You had a strong defense last year. What changes do you have in store for your defense?
Defensively, we had to add a few pieces. Well, first off, we had the number one rush defense in the conference last year. I got two guys right here that were part of the leaders of that defense, Jimmy Evans and Jalen Johnson, two pillars of our defense. And we got our front four, which is our D-line. They're going to be very, very impressive. Had to add a couple pieces in the back end, got to get a little bit faster back there. But again, I feel like I got one of the best DCs in the conference, man. Earl James was a guy that he actually gave me my first opportunity to call offensive plays, be offensive coordinator. So for me, I feel like I got one of the best DCs out there, and he's going to get those guys prepared to play.
Your journey to become a head coach has been long and winding, but also you've had some family help. A lot of people don't know your family bloodline. Could you explain to them a little bit about your family bloodlines there?
Well, Mr. Brett can know about it. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you because if you guys don't know, Mr. Brett is from Baton Rouge, and where we're from, Sportsline Friday night is the thing to do. So when we're in high school, we love to get on there, and Mr. Brett calls our games and tells us how we do. But from my family history, man, first and foremost, my auntie, she's 6'4". She played at Grambling State University, first one to ever score 11 points in a game. My uncle played baseball at Grambling. He was one of the first pitchers from our area that got drafted into Major League Baseball. And then I'm from the same hometown as Doug Williams. So for us, football, where I'm from, the small community that
three-headed defensive coordinator setup. You've got a run defense coordinator and two co-defensive coordinators. You got a lot of leaders. Is that to keep this defense as strong as it once was last season?
Well, for me, it's simply that we have three great minds in our defensive staff, and they each have their certain expertise. We have a co-defensive coordinator, we have a run game coordinator, but we have a play caller in Coach Chris Cash that will actually run the defense and call the defense. But those other guys have significant say-so in the defense when it comes down to it. We got several guys coming back, as you can see on the preseason team. Jalen Pugh, defensive lineman, Jalen Mitchell, one of our defensive backs, Joey Turner, those guys like that. So we're going to rely on those guys who are also a part of our leadership committee to do some big things in the side of the ball.
Your schedule is pretty vaunted. You go from Jersey to Jacksonville, all in one season, up and down the East Coast. What are your concerns on getting your team ready to take on that type of schedule?
Well, our guys have, from what I understand and what I've gathered in the 6 months that I've been there, we have a very resilient bunch. These guys take the game of football and academics seriously. And right now, obviously, the concern is just the way you travel. You know, I mean, you got to go to Kentucky State, which is a 12, 13-hour drive. You know, fortunately, we're going to be flying to New Jersey for that classic. And, you know, we have a couple of trips out of the league riders along, but for us, you know, that part of it will be the concerning part in terms of the length of the trips. But for the most part, these guys have been very resilient with knowing on the level that we're on what it takes to be prepared and get prepared for each and every week, including the bus rides.
Final question, when you look at this squad and the expectations that have already been shown up on the screen, do you think those are lofty goals, or do you think that's right where Albany State needs to be?
Well, for me, in our program, it wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? We're always going to set the bar high. No expectation is going to be greater than our own. So for us, our players understand what the goal is. The SIAC championship isn't the only goal that we have. Obviously, with us and being able to get into the playoffs, if we do what we're supposed to do, we're setting our goals for bigger and better things, to be honest with you. So for us, the expectation, our expectation is a little bit higher than anybody else's would be for ourselves. So that's just a testament to what those guys did in the past last year, the past couple seasons. But at the end of the day, you still have to play games, right? So we're going to get ourselves prepared, and we're going to play this season out and see how it goes.
All right, good luck to you, Coach, and thank you so very much. Next up, he's always a fighter and he keeps on fighting. Head coach Ted Keaton of Allen University, the Yellow Jackets. All right, Coach, last year you lost 5 games by a total of 14 points. How do you digest that and you use that as fuel for this season?
The past is the past. We moved on from that. I think the kids in the offseason has responded well in the weight room, the classroom, and just did some things we needed to do to adjust our defense, our secondary. We had to address those issues there. So we spent a lot of time trying to revamp. We fired some coaches, we hired some coaches. The adults in the room had to take a look at themselves, as well as the kids. You can't always point it back to the kids. We have to put some of that on us too.
Look at the health of your quarterback. He's right here today. He's
front and center. He's been through rehab the whole night. He's doing good.
How important is it to have him there? Because when you look at his stats, no interceptions, 5 touchdowns in his limited time, how important is it to make your offense go?
He's very important, but no one player is bigger than the team. We always talk about, individuals win games, teams win championships. And it's important that he gather the people around him and make them better. And if he gets everybody to do what he do and move at the level he moves at, then we're good.
Your rushing attack, a lot of people always really don't talk about it, but you had a very good rushing attack. How important is it to build upon it?
I think that was an area that I wanted to get better at. Alan's only 5th year. We haven't had all the pieces that we want. I think we're getting close to that, so we can get to some other personnel groupings that we'll be able to do some things as far as controlling the ball. As you can see last year, those 5 games, we were up in 3 of those games by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and I think we out-coached ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we did things that get arrogant in times and trying to run up a score or doing things that we shouldn't do instead of managing the game. And I call it the 4-minute offense. We got to be able to establish a 4-minute offense, be able to drive the ball down. I think the best thing for me is I like 11, 12 play drives that eats time off the clock. And throwing the football will get you in trouble. Because if you drop balls, stopping the clock, the whole 9, those things hurt you in a big way. So now you give the other team enough more opportunities to be able to score.
We'll look at your defense. Gary Barrage is coming back, a talented linebacker. You also have Graham coming back, talented defensive back and kick returner. Last year, was your defense really sort of stuck out there because sometimes your offense may have not been able to run that 4-minute offense as you should? And what can we expect to see from your defense?
I think my defense, they were young in the secondary, very, very young. But there were some talented players there. And job of helping both sides of the ball. And as the head coach, I got to do a better job of making sure the coordinators do their job to slow the game down when it's time to slow it down.
When you take a look at the season coming up, what are your expectations and what are your concerns?
You've been knowing me for 14 years. My expectation is to win. It's never been no different, and I'm always going to be that way. The kids know that. We coach that. We work that way. But we also understand that through failure, I don't say we took a loss. It's failure. We took a lesson. So every time we went back and evaluate those things and make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful, and that's for the adults in the room and the players in the room. And once we all buy into what we're selling here, I think we'll do a really good job there.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much. Good luck to you. Thank you. From Wilberforce, Ohio, coach that always finds a way to win, regardless of the record. If you get him in the ring, he'll walk away with the championship. Head coach Kevin Porter from the Marauders of Central State. Coach, some people would say you're loaded. I'm just saying. You know, you got a lot of guys that were all SIAC. You got guys that were first team in multiple positions. Is the team loaded, or is this team a work in progress?
Oh, it's always a work in progress. We've got good personnel. I think that we've done a good job. Just really trying to build a program like a bunch of the coaches here have talked about, just building it from the ground up. We inherited a program that was not doing it, in all aspects of the game. So, we come in and we try to create a culture of winning, try to create a culture where the players understand exactly what the expectations are. And I think we've done a good job of that. I think it's important for us to continue to really just try to develop the consistency that it's going to take to win in this conference. We've got a lot of really competitive guys in here. We all laugh together and all of that stuff, but they want to kill you. So it's important that we understand that and continue to grow our program.
Rushing the football is always important to your teams. Are you still looking for an anchor back, or do you want the quarterback to still be a part of the rushing style of offense?
Well, we're running shoot offense, so we step off the bus, we throw it. So we're trying to get better at the running game. Obviously, you're going to have to. There are points in every game where you have to be able to consistently run the football, but we're going to stick to what we feel like we've recruited to and stick to what we do best. And I think that that's one of the things that's helped us. I think there are a lot of kids that are coming up these days and want to go to places where they're going to catch a bunch of balls, and that's what we're doing.
Jaleel defensively had a good year last year. What is his next step in his development?
Well, his next step in his development is to be a consistent football player at all times. he has flashes in games where he's going to, he plays a position where he's going to make 12, 13 tackles a game. But really looking for him to expand his game to understanding what everybody is doing. And this is his first year in this scheme too. So we're really just looking for him to expand his game and have a bigger influence on how his teammates play around him. And I think that he's up to the challenge. He's had a setback during the spring where he hurt his ankle, but he's fully recovered right now, and we expect him to have a great year last year.
Your schedule, you go to Chicago, you played 3 road games to start. How important is it for your team to start with a good sense of where your team is and a good sense of what the mission is in order to get through those first 3 games?
I think the first 3 games for us, 2 Division I teams and another team that played in the conference championship last year, will tell us a lot about ourselves. I think it's important for us to look at those games as an opportunity for us to go out and continue to measure ourselves against the teams in the country, the teams in the conference. We had an awesome game with Tuskegee last year. I think that for us, those first 3 games are going to tell us a lot about ourselves. We're looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
Last question, are you starting to make Central State a hard place for people to play? I know it's always a long journey to get there, but once they get there, is it turning into the place that people hate to play?
Well, we do. That's the goal. I mean, the trips are long for us too. So it's a community where we want to make it into a place where it is very different. We got to take a 6-7 hour bus ride up there. We want you to go home unhappy. So we're going to continue to just kind of push the program, push the kids, push the culture, and continue to see if we can keep making strides. And like Teddy and some of the other coaches said, they've done some of these close games.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Going down to Jacksonville, just going across the country here. Over to Edwaters University, the Tigers, head coach Toriano Morgan. He's already mic dropped and he hadn't said a word. All right, Coach. You won 4 of your last 7 games last season. It seemed as though your defense found its way in the last 4 games. What changed and what can you do to continue that momentum?
Well, I think what changed was growth. The first 4 games, we lost by a total of 13 points, which gave us the opportunity to be 13 points in actuality from being 8-2. So we took those lessons, and the things that we didn't do well, we just didn't do anymore. The things that we did well, we did more of. And it turned into the team peaking and excelling towards the end of the season.
During the offseason, you signed 24 players. Does that mean that you have basically a brand new team, or are some of those guys just there to extend the program, or are they there to play right away?
Well, we have to kind of go back to the genesis of once I took over. We were in a period to where we didn't get the opportunity to recruit at the time that we got in. So what was there, we had to make do with. So we got an opportunity now to get a full recruiting cycle in, to graduate some guys, phase some guys out of the program, and then go out and be able to recruit to get guys that were like-minded and fit athletically and academically with the scheme and the metro the way we wanted to do it Jacksonville.
Glover Stadium was a dream that came true. 6 home games this season, if I'm not mistaken. Has that stadium, same as I asked Coach Porter, has that become a place where teams don't want to play? Because not only is it in the heat, but it's also in the humidity. And from what I've been told about Glover Stadium, it feels as if you got a heater all around the stadium.
Well, yes, I would definitely say that Glover Stadium has afforded us a great sense of home field advantage, being able to come in and get teams down into the heat. But the atmosphere the college game day experience that the fans and the family-like atmosphere that they're able to experience when they come to Glover Stadium has helped with the community coming out to support not just the football team, but the athletic program, to be involved with that. And it gives being the only college football program in the city of Jacksonville, it gives the community something to get behind, something to get out and see on Saturday afternoons, and it just turns this place into an electric atmosphere.
What are your expectations about this year's squad?
To win. No doubt about it. We're very excited about this team. One thing we learned about this team during the spring, that they're not like the previous two teams that we had. This is a very hard-working, resilient group. A lot of the guys with this particular team got a chance to get meaningful playing time as freshmen and as sophomores. So I oftentimes joke with them, I can't even call them young guys anymore because they've been there, done that, got a t-shirt. So it's time for them now to step into that role. And it's time to, it was great to get 4, it was great to get 5, but now it's time to turn the corner for us.
What are your challenges to get that team to buy into all of that?
Well, the challenge is just the same thing. It's forming a team. So once we come into camp, the first thing that we have to establish is trust. And that trust has to come full circle and work from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. As teammates, infusing some transfer guys that will be there, as well as some young guys that will be coming in from the high school. From teammate to teammate, they have to learn to trust each other. Coaches to player, they have to learn to trust each other. Player to coach, they have to learn to trust each other. So it's not about what we're going to be running on September the 2nd. We can have the most elaborate offensive and defensive playbook, but if we don't trust in each other, it's not going to work. So we have to keep the main thing, and that's becoming the trust, and beginning to trust each other, beginning to like each other, learning to love each other, then you're cooking with gas.
Hopefully you're cooking with gas come September. Coach, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Next up, representing Fort Valley State, head coach Sean Gibbs in his 2nd season. I didn't even know that was up there. Coach, you were neophyte last year, first-year head coach. What did you learn about your team and about the Fort Valley culture after a successful first season?
Well, I knew a lot about the Fort Valley culture. There's a legacy of winning there. So I totally understood that. What I learned about the team is we're hungry and we're ready to take the next step.
How hard is it to replace a guy like Emmanuel Wilson?
Well, Emmanuel was one of the best players in the country last year. Thankfully, he's got an opportunity to play with the Panthers now. It's extremely hard to replace somebody like that. I don't know if you can replace him individually, but we plan on replacing him collectively. So we have that group of guys that can replace that type of production.
The next step will grow for Kelvin Durham. What is his next step?
Well, he's got to understand what we're asking him to do. We're not asking him to go out and win any games for us. We simply want him to manage the game, be a facilitator, keep us out of bad situations, and get the ball to our playmakers in space.
Defensively, can we expect to see more of the same, or have you made some tweaks to what was relatively a successful defense?
We'll be better on defense. These guys have a lot more experience. I think that we have some talent on all 3 levels. On the defensive line up front, we got some guys that can play. Tim Aldridge's here today. I think he's one of the better players in the country, and people will find out about him this year. We got 2 guys that are preseason all-conference at the linebacker position, and we got a secondary that was inexperienced last year. We had some true freshmen on the corners. So now, they have some experience, and I think they'll be a lot better.
You had 2 losses last season. How deep did those losses cut into the team? And has that allowed them to sort of block out all of the success accolades and be laser focused on the mission at hand this season?
Absolutely. Both of those losses really hurt, especially losing at homecoming, getting embarrassed in front of our fans. So, that stayed with us this whole off season. What we're focusing on is being better in the big moments. When you think about those two losses, going into homecoming, we were undefeated. We were doing a great job of playing our brand of football, stopping the run, protecting the football, and winning the kicking game. And we didn't do any of those things at homecoming. And then later on in the season, we dropped the game to Savannah State. I think, that loss kept us out of the playoffs. Another big moment, and we didn't perform. So now, we know we got to step up and be ready and be prepared in those moments. And ultimately, that's on me. That's my job. I got to do a better job of getting the guys ready to go in big time moments.
Last question, your growth as a head coach. What did you learn about yourself that you can use going into season number 2?
Well, what I learned is that I have a lot of growth to do. From, a football aspect, I'm okay. That's what I do. I'm a football coach, and I understand football at a high level. But being a head coach is more than just being a football coach. So those are the things that I'm trying to work on and grow and develop.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next up, the Dragons. As Eddie Murphy said, Dragons. Head coach Byron Brown of Lane College. Coach, defensively, how do you replace Andrew Ball?
Can't replace him. He's a special kid that did everything he asked him to do off the field. 3.5 student with a double major at Lane College. And SIAC, being a leader on the field, in the locker room, he's really the perfect kid that you would want on your team, and he led with his heart.
Offensively, your signal caller, is that determined yet, or are you still looking for it?
But right now, our signal calls right now is Gap. It's his job to lose. We are bringing some other guys, he knows that. But we're expecting a lot out of him. He's a leader, that's why he's here. He steps up and he's been doing everything we asked him to do for the last 3 years, following behind Mike Hunt and Tariq. So he knows the systems, he's very smart, 3.8 GPA. And like Coach was saying about his quarterback, we just need him to manage the game and get the ball to the guys and score.
Your schedule is heavy in September.
Yes, it is.
How important is it for you guys to have the right mindset going into the month of September?
Pretty much like we did last year. We opened up with Pine Bluff, then we had to play Benedict. Tell our guys we got to make sure that we were well prepared early. That way, when the injury bug is in the middle of the season, we still can maintain the pool.
Last season, you got a big win against Tennessee State. How much do you think that helped your program? And how much do you think it may have hurt last year's team?
Well, starting out with Pine Bluff, anytime you play a team that has multiple scholarships for you, and our kids gave it their all in that 42-48 loss, then you turn around and play Benedict in the conditions that we were playing in, and lose 14 to in the game that, like I told the kids, whoever probably win this game, going to the championship game. So it took a lot out of it early. Recruiting-wise, when they see us beat Tennessee State, it helps us recruiting-wise to let everybody know it doesn't matter. They put their pants on just like we do. We take that same attitude, and we had an opportunity. The kids rose to the occasion. They gave it their all, winning overtime. On the flip side, we had homecoming next week, and we just didn't have that extra little gear. It took us to the third quarter to score 26 points. And then we still lost by 4 or 5 points. So, it hurts. Middle of the season, injury bugs, it's tough.
When you look at the expectations of this year, you've always had a team that people are like, look out for Lane. How important is it to transfer from being the lookout to being the leader?
Kind of like Coach Slade said, them 3 closing errors. You know, if you go back and look at our schedule, you'll see them games where if they just would have did this, we did that, we would have been right there. But we got to continue to improve in our kicking game. I think that was the biggest downfall for us this season. We played good defense, we played good offense, but at some point, our special teams in the kicking game broke down, and instead of the field being 70 to 80 yards for the defense, they were 25. You know, instead of being 40 yards, it was 10 yards. You know, so we got to clean up our special teams.
Your only concerns, what are some of your concerns going into the first game of the season?
First year guys on the field, you know, that you haven't been playing with for the last 3 or 4 years. We graduated 12 seniors this past year, so I'm very proud of that with our program. We're moving forward in the right direction on and off the field. So just seeing the right mix, the right blend of guys and putting the best 11 in all 3 phases on the field at one time.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Good luck to you. Next up, representing the Maroon Tigers, Gerard Wilshire. Coach, I think you are living proof that it's never too late to come home.
That is so true, but there's also no place like home. So it's great to be back in Atlanta. It's great to be back in Morehouse.
First question, why take this job now?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this. When I first met my wife, I told her I was going to be 55 and I was going to go be the head coach. I won't name the school because they're in the conference. But I was going to go be the head coach there. And job came around. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you're about to be 54. Why not your alma mater? So here I am, ready to go.
I like that. That's a good answer. Last year, the team was trying to find their offense. What will be your offensive philosophy?
Well, I can't tell you that. We haven't played the game yet. That's not fair to everybody in the room. We can't give out secrets. Let's just say that my goal is to score. We're going to score as much as we can, and as fast as we can. And yeah, I'm trying to blow the lights out the clock.
Blow the lights out the clock?
That's our attitude. We're going to blow the lights out the clock.
I like that. Defensively, can you expound upon your defensive philosophy?
Fast, physical, relentless, you name it, we're going to do it. We're going to have multiple personnel groupings. And I told the DC, I don't care if we, skydive to blitz, paratroopers, we don't care, right? We're going to do it, we're going to get after some people, and we're going to have some fun.
When you look at the cupboard, the talent that you have, was the cupboard bare, or did you have some pieces that you can work with?
Well, very interesting spring. I felt bad for myself. When we hear other people's story, it's not that bad. I didn't get hired after signing day. So when I walked in, I challenged my OC and my DC. I said, just find me 11 guys each side of the ball. I'll take care of the rest. I thought they did a good job in the spring of finding me 11 each side of the ball. And like I say, I'll take care of the rest.
Could you describe your coaching style? You're a player's coach, you're a disciplinarian. What can we expect to see from you?
I think you'll see a little bit of everything. I consider myself a player's coach, but when it's time, if I have to discipline, I'll discipline. I have no problems with that. Like I say, I played at Morehouse for the legendary track coach, Willie Hill. He was my defensive coordinator. And, to this day, we are loyal to Coach Hill. We're like Coach Hill's boys. And he used to put it on us, and put us through it. So that's how I coach. I'm going to give it to them, so when we get in that game, it's easy. But they're going to get it in practice.
When you look at the upgrades that have happened at the stadium, how important is that to make your vision come true?
I think it would really, really be great, but we only play 2 home games this year. So you know, I told my administration that I want to play 8 home games. If we have such a beautiful place, we should never leave it. Plus, we get a little home field advantage, a little Atlanta cooking, make life a lot easier. But it doesn't make a difference, you know, for the vision. You know, as an alum, I'm very, very proud of what's happened at Morehouse. But ultimately, we just got to put the ball down and play.
What have you told the alumni and the players about your expectations for this season?
Well, I expect to win every time I step on the field, right? We play the game and win. So I don't care who it is. I mean, we have a stretch where we play a game on a Sunday, and then the next Saturday, I got to play an FCS opponent. I have back-to-back flights 3 weeks in a row. But I guarantee you, nobody in the SIAC is going to feel sorry for me on game day, so we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We better be ready. We'll be strapped up. We'll be ready to go every single week.
Last question, what are your concerns about getting your young men to buy into what you're trying to get them to buy into?
You know what, these guys have been fantastic. You know, they come to my office, they want to know how we're going to do, what we're going to do, how we're going to make this thing go, and they've been great in following the vision. And this is the thing I told them, and I told my administration. I have 2 goals when I took the job. I want to win, graduate. And then secondly, our team model, trust, integrity, grit, effort, respect, and sacrifice. That's how you win football games. That's how you become great young men. That's how you become great leaders.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
So we move into state of Alabama. Head coach for the Golden Bears, head coach Sam Shady. All right, Coach, how important was your offseason to improve your team?
Our offseason was very important. From the end of last season, tough game against Tuskegee, double overtime. Recruiting was the big thing for us. Going out and signing guys mid-year that came in January, and then the high school kids that we signed. We started our offseason program in January, went January, February, got some really good work, strength and conditioning, things like that. And spring practice, we thought those 15 days were vital to our program moving forward.
Finding your offense last year was a task. Were you able to address that? And do you think through the spring you've been able to find the offense that you need?
Well, offensively, last year we started the season off at Alabama State, and we lose 3 starters, starting quarterback, starting running back, starting slot receiver for the season. And so after that, you know, we kind of played musical chairs at quarterback, but we feel like we brought in some transfers at some of those positions that are going to be able to help us. We have not settled on quarterback. We've got really a 3-way competition, and we're also adding our quarterback that was the starter that we lost last season. He's back in action, Claude Newell.
Okay. Defensively, what can we expect to see?
Well, Coach Chris Sheldon, I've known him a long time. Auburn grad, NFL guy. He likes to get after it. He's going to give multiple looks from 3-man fronts to 4-man fronts, and he likes to be aggressive. So you're going to see a style of play that's physical, fast, and aggressive to get to the football.
What did you learn about yourself and about this league after year 1?
Well, I knew some things about this league, but the talent level, you know, even some of the teams that we didn't play, watching other teams on film, I thought the talent level was very high in this conference, and it's like an arms race. Everybody's going out and adding more talent. So, you know, I feel like anybody in this league has an opportunity to win it. I feel like there's a lot of parity in this league. Nobody's just head over heels above the rest, and it's just a great league as far as competition.
What are your expectations for this year's squad?
Well, our expectations for this year obviously are always high. Miles College. Before I got there, Coach Reginald Ruffin, they did a great job of assimilating talent and getting the championship games, and that's still the expectation at Miles College. We've been able to go out and add some pieces that we feel like are going to help us. We try to create competition amongst our team each and every day. We talk about being your best every day. That's what it's about. On and off the field, be your best every day. We feel like we did that this offseason. We finished up the school year with over 30 players, with over 3.0 grade point average. And our guys know they got to earn it every day. We talk about when you show up to that facility, there's a sign up on that door, it's an imaginary sign, and we call it the now hiring sign. So they know every day we're hiring at every position, so you got to earn it every day.
What are your concerns about your team buying into your vision for this season?
Well, we feel like last season, the record didn't show it. Obviously, too many losses, but like one of the coaches said earlier, we learned a lot of lessons from those losses, and we felt like that last ball game, like I said, we go play Tuskegee, double overtime. We didn't win the game, but we felt like we laid the foundation for this year's team coming up because those guys didn't quit. They kept fighting, they kept believing, they kept trusting each other, and we feel like that laid the foundation for this season, so we got high expectations.
All right, Coach, good luck to you. We cross the state line and go back to the state of Georgia, and we go down to the coast. Aaron Kelton, the head coach for the Savannah State Tigers. Coach, last year, your season was just like riding in a Chevy SS. It was a roller coaster ride. Fast and furious, and sometimes it broke down a little bit. What did you take from last season? You were able to win your last two games, and how do you carry that momentum into this year?
I think that with every year being different, what we did was go back and evaluate the process. And we felt like we were playing good football down the stretch. So for us, it's about getting off to a good start. I think that comes with consistency in our team and in our players, our coaching staff. We were hired really late last year, and so I think we've earned the trust of our team and the players through what we did last year in the spring and winter workouts in the spring.
Your quarterback position, is it a system or is it an ongoing competition?
It's always a competition, but it is a system. He's, the guy that we've given the keys to the Ferrari to is here. Jaden Adams is a good player. But we'll have guys in who are battling and going to push him every day, and he knows that. We talk openly about that. And he loves the competition. He's a competitor. He's a winner. And that's why he's got the keys right now.
Defensively, last season you created a lot of havoc. How important is it to build upon that type of defense and have that carry over into this year?
I think our defense played pretty well last year, but we were just, opening the book. We were in the first chapters of what we do defensively, just because of learning curve and again, gaining the trust of the players. And so I think that we'll be, much improved on defense and do some different things and show some different stuff as well.
To start the season, 2 weeks on the road, how important is it to get your team where they need to be during camp and early in camp so you can start off with a bang?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for us is September the 2nd against Southeastern University. That's our focus. And we've got to go down there and play well and continue to build on the way we ended the season. And we think that we did a pretty good job this spring starting to establish some of that, and we're going into the summer excited about that process.
When you look at your first year in the league, what did you learn about yourself as a coach, and what did you learn about this league?
The league is very competitive, great bunch of coaches and really good players. One of the things people don't understand, I think we got 6 or 7 guys who signed free agent contracts and currently on NFL rosters. We don't have a lot of leagues that do that. And so we know that the competition is there. We know that the talent level is high. We know that the coaches are competitive and going to fight. We laugh and joke, but we know when we line up on Saturdays, Fridays, Thursdays, whatever it is, we're trying to beat the guy across the other side of the field. And we'll shake hands and say, hey, great job. But everybody's trying to get where Benedict is or was last year in terms of that championship. And so that's everybody's goal. We expect it, and everybody talks about it. And now it's coming down to the time when we got to, show it.
Right. What are your concerns about getting your guys to buy into your vision?
I think it's just trust the process, right? We talk about our process all the time with our guys. We make sure that they understand what we expect from them. And one of the things that I live by is I hate for them to say, Coach, I didn't know, okay? Because then that means I didn't do my job. So we make sure that everything is clear and defined for each and every one of them. I think that they bought in. It's I guess acclimating the new guys who are going to come in and get them into the process. But again, it's trust the process. Continue to go through the steps that you go through, and you'll get to the result you need.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Once again, I think we got to cross the state line. I keep going back and forth across the state line. First year head coach representing the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, head coach Aaron James. So I hear the motto on one of the things people are saying around campus is, the wait is over.
Yes, it is. It's over. Just coming back to my alma mater, Coach Ruffin giving me the opportunity to come back and lead these young men and just try to get this program back where it was always been.
What does this job, being the head coach at your alma mater, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Just to know that I was in some of those guys' shoes, a lot of those guys' shoes, just showing them, the ropes and everything, the tradition, Tuskegee has had, and what we're trying to build, and just be able to come back and just build young men up the way they need to be.
Offensively and defensively, how much are you changing and trying to put your stamp on the program, or is this a continuation of the tradition that has always been there for the last 20 years?
No, offensive and defense, everybody's still intact. My defensive coordinator is still there, and I was offensive coordinator last year, so we can tweak some things, but everything is going to be the same. But like I said, it's going to be different schematically and different things that we're going to show.
What is your coaching philosophy? What type of coach are you? Do you think you're a player's coach, disciplinarian? What can we expect to see?
I'm all of that. I'm players coach, disciplinary, and just training young men up to be successful on and off the field.
Your expectations for this year's squad, I know at Tuskegee it's always sky high, but what do you want to see that will give you indications that you have a championship caliber ball player?
Yeah, like you said, expectation is high, and like I said, Tuskegee we've been a winningest HBCU in the nation. And, for me, being a former player, 4-year starter, 42-5, starting quarterback, not trying to just, throw any records out there, but just trying to just show the guys, the level of expectation that we're trying to get to, and just looking at everybody that came through the program, because we got one of my former players that played together with Drayton Florence, and then inducted into the SIAC Hall of Fame today. So, that's a blessing, just looking at, these young men coming across the stage, walk across the stage with the Tuskegee, saying, front on it. It means such, it's a blessing for us.
What are your concerns about getting your team to buy into your vision, because now you go from being coach in waiting to now the head signal caller?
There's no concern because, like I said, I've been in the program, so all of the guys, they know what to expect from me, offensively and defensively. So going through this spring, waiting to put my stamp on everything, but like I said, it wasn't nothing for me coming in. I was already in the system. I was already in the program, so they already know what time it is. There's no excuses for us.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Good luck to you. So now we get on I-20, and I think that we go over the state of Georgia into the state of South Carolina, and now we bring on the reigning SIAC champions, Benedict College Tigers, and their head coach, Janice Berry. So what a lot of people don't know is the beginning of the video that you saw that was talking about last year's championship run was intentional, because this person that was sitting next to me said publicly that he completely forgot about winning the SIAC championship. So Coach, I need to ask you about your selective amnesia.
Well, I say that wholeheartedly because although the 2022 season was a fantastic season, I mean, no doubt about it, it was a monumental season, but it's a new team, new season, but the same mission. What we did in 2022 has absolutely nothing to do with 2023. So I had to focus our team on that. Focus our team on focusing on winning the day. We're 1-0 every day. Don't worry about the end goal. Fall in love with the process of becoming great. And if you do that, keep chopping wood each and every day, the fruits of our labor will eventually come to pass.
What did you do special to help your team forget about championship rings, undefeated season, hoisting up a trophy, going to the playoffs, and a packed stadium?
Again, our mission every day, myself, I'm continually trying to grow. If you agree, you grow. And I am personally trying to grow as a coach. So I'm reading different leadership books. I'm reading one now by Jeff Olson. It's basically, at the end of the day, it's talking about simple daily disciplines. All right? And it's about the slight edge. I know every day that each and every day is an opportunity of a lifetime to be better. And I know every day that I have to make sure that I lead from the front. So as a head football coach, I'm making sure every day that our coaches are prepared. We're not focusing on the end goal. We're focusing on being the best we can be today on July the 12th, 2023. And if we continue to do that, we like our chances.
Coach, your season this year may have been like a small soap opera, and I say that because you had a player that was instrumental in you winning a championship, and that player went to the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. How did you deal with that, and how do you move forward in that position?
Well, when the young man came in and said he wanted to bet on himself and get an opportunity to move on and give himself a chance at the next level, obviously, initially, I want to keep him. Okay, but he did his job, he graduated, he's got his degree, and he moved on. So as a head coach, now I have to move on. So at the same time, I think my coaches there did an amazing job of moving on from that situation and going out and recruiting. My job as the head football coach and our job as a staff, first of all, is to recruit. Right, second of all, we have to retain. Then we have to develop them each and every day, because we're not going to get the finished product. And then our goal is to graduate. If we can do those four things, and we give our young man an opportunity to succeed not only in the game of football, in the game of life, if he wants to move on and pursue other things, that's his prerogative. But at the end of the day, my job is to get the next man ready. And I think we've really done an amazing job as a coaching staff in developing and recruiting the next guy to be put in that situation to be successful.
Your expectations for this season, is it to repeat or is it to win the first time again?
My expectation for this season is simple. Go 1-0 today. That's it. If we can continue to go 1-0 and win today, it's a process. Everybody wants championship. Every coach in this room wants to win a championship. But if we at Benedict College just focused on winning the day, win the day each and every day, winning in the classroom, winning in the weight room, winning in the study room. If we continue to do that every day and go 1-0, at the end, when it's all said and done, days will turn to weeks, weeks will turn to months, months will turn to a year. Then what you want at the end will be right there in front of you.
What are your concerns about this year's squad buying into your vision?
Well, first and foremost, we have a veteran football team coming back. I mean, I tell our guys all the time, you know, it's going to come down to discipline and leadership for us. You know, we have a veteran football team. I mean, majority of our team is back. We lost a couple pieces of the puzzle. We have two amazing young men sitting right in front of me right now. These guys have been in the program. You're talking about Luber Denales, man. He's not only, everybody knows him as a football player, but you're talking about he's been in the program for 3 years. And, he's only made one beat, all A's. He's an amazing student. He'll be finishing with his degree in December. You're talking about Josh Hayward. He's been in the program for a while. He's a 3-year starter. He's a 6'2" corner. He's going to have an opportunity to play more ball past Benedict College. But he's already has his degree. He just graduated last May with his degree, so he's playing his senior year in grad school. You know, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's bigger than football for me. As a head football coach, my job is to lead from the front, and I'm getting young men ready for the game of life. So this game going to end one day. That's the only guarantee about this game of football, that it's going to end one day. All these coaches in this room, we all played the game. But guess what? It ended. My last snap was at Savannah State, 1994. That was a long, long time ago, but I've been giving back to the young men that look just like me for the last 29 years of my life. And I'm blessed to be sitting in this seat. To God be the glory.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. And good luck to you.
Let's get it on time.
All right, that concludes our media portion. We do have individual media outlets who will want to talk to you. And Tyler.
If we could give James and all of our head football coaches a round of applause. That was amazing conversations and amazing outlooks for this next year. So we're super, super excited about it. So this will be the last portion of our football media day for this part of the program. So for the next about 45 minutes, we're going to do individual interviews with our media outlets. And if our media outlets could raise their hands. Awesome. So we're going to actually go around. We're going to start to my left, your right, and then we're going to have each team go to a media outlet, and we're going to do a 5-minute rotational format. So after 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and rotate to the next media outlet, and I'll let you know about that. At the end of the individual media interviews, if everyone could meet us outside of these glass windows in the foyer, so that way we can get ourselves prepared for the second half of the Hall of Fame ceremony. Alrighty, so we can go ahead and have teams start from my left and your right, and we'll go ahead and get started with media interviews. Thank you all.
Coaches, if you would remove everything from the tables that you are at so that we can get set up for the luncheon. Thank you.
Slide on the way. Yeah, it's coming back. All right, so Dr. Savannah State. Here.
What's going on, Jim?
How you doing? I can't hear you though. But yeah.
Still working.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
This is you
Told me, no, let's go.
You said it right. Exactly. So Dr. We are already. We already are live. We are live. Your mic's in.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
We got you.
Got me?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Mic set.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab here with a special edition as we are here for the SIAC Football Media Day and Hall of Fame with Savannah State University coaches and players, and they look game ready already. So it looks like y'all been putting in the work. I'm going to go with Coach first. Coach, if you would, introduce your players and tell me why you brought these particular players.
Okay. I'm Coach Kelton, the head football coach. To my right immediately is Kyle Frazier, senior offensive lineman. Jaden Adams, redshirt sophomore quarterback. And Jonathan Glover, senior defensive end, or defensive lineman. Okay. And I brought these guys because they epitomize what we're trying to do in our culture. Okay. They're all great students. They're really, really good football players. And even better people, right? And it's important for us, and I talked about it earlier about process. These guys understand the process. They're committed to what's happening at Savannah State. They love being at SSU and being a Tiger, okay? And they continue to promote our program each and every day of their life. That's what they talk about. And so they deserve to be here because they're good players and good students, and it's just an opportunity for them as well, so that people can see the great students that are at Savannah State.
We're going to start this off. This coach talking, y'all going to have a chance to do all that. Y'all going to take care of business. I already know y'all ready. The format's changed a little bit. It's in the East Division's top 2, so that's where you're looking to go. But tell me, what has been the best thing, each one of you, if you would, and we'll go straight down the road, playing for Coach?
The aspects to the game that he taught us coming in. Also, don't take anything for granted. That's probably the number one thing that I've learned from Coach Kelton. You don't get a play back. So every play, the most important play is the next one, and don't take each one for granted.
What's your secret sauce in terms of Coach Kelton?
For me, the most important thing I learned from Coach Kelton is his knowledge of the game. He played the position I play now, which is quarterback, so whenever he talks, it's good that I listen because he's going to put me in the right position to make plays.
Make plays. I like that. So you about making plays, right?
I'm about winning.
Even better. Following behind your offensive lineman, your time.
For me, is that transition from growing as a player. For me personally, he taught me how to what it needs to be, what it takes to be a leader. That growing process, really evolving as a player. Transitioning from coming in and being somebody to play, but to being being a player that teaches somebody the game as well. So transitioning to being a leader.
Certainly, I can hear it in your voice because I can see why you're proud of these young men.
Yeah,
they ready.
Absolutely.
Not just ready for what's going to happen this season in terms of football, but I can tell y'all ready for life.
And that's the biggest thing for us, right?
Take the difference, exactly.
Talk
about how football in this season in particular prepares these young men for life and the opportunity coming forward.
Well, one of the things I always I talk to everybody about, it doesn't matter who you are, is especially like professors and people on campus, is my classroom. okay, is the football field. Yeah. And what I'm teaching is about life, right? And so I have to be excellent at that because they might be in class for 4 years, okay? But they got 60 years of living to do. And hopefully I can sprinkle some gems out there, give them some examples of some stuff and help to lead them in a great direction. And so it's extremely important for us to we talk about life all the time, okay? But also it's about your integrity, your honesty, being a man, ownership, responsibility, accountability, all those different things. And then at the end of the day, you still got to have fun while you do it, right? Because it is a game, but we're learning about life through a game.
Well, I wish y'all the best. I know it's going to be exciting to watch y'all these Saturdays and some Thursdays as we come this season. And I see y'all prepared to be at the top. What is it going to take each one of you to finish at the top of the conference at the end of the year?
It's going to take being a great leader. You got to
leadership and discipline.
Playing together, that brotherly bond.
Coach, great job. I look forward, and we'll talk more. We'll get you on the show and give you a chance to give these young men even more time to really break down some opportunity to talk about their goals and what they plan to do in terms of the season and some key matchups.
Great. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Appreciate your support of Savannah State, okay? And we're looking forward to having a great season, so thank you.
Oh, no problem, brother.
All righty.
With that, we'll take our next break. That was Savannah State, host of some significant individuals. You heard them in terms of what they're getting ready to do. And they smiling as they leave it, man. They can't wait to get on the gridiron and put on them cleats. They look clean, though, in them suits. They clean up well. These brothers are good. With that being said, pleasure's all mine. Sorry for the seat. With that saying, stick with us. We'll be right back at this break, and we're bringing on our next group of coaches as we get it done, as things continue to move.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loop machine.
This is Dr.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness.
At College Sports Network, getting it done for the SIAC. That's the 2023 Football Media and Hall of Fame lineup. Tell me, how it's been going? I see you were here bright and early getting things going. What did you think in terms of the matchups today? Oh, you got perfect. See, perfect timing, man. I'm doing well, Coach. Yes. I would tell you congratulations, Coach, but you sound like you moved on. You ready for the year 23? So I'm gonna stop all that. Come on in, young men. We're ready. It's time to get going. As they getting set up, I'm going to talk to you. Go ahead and put your headphones on. You were talking about just how great it was.
Yeah, I love the atmosphere. I love having, the SIAC here at the College Football Hall of Fame. At the College Football Hall of Fame, the setup, everything is so well. Even the production
loved, and everything is okay. Now I hear myself in here. That the production value is so great with the preseason predictions and the awards that they were given. I just love what they're doing here at the SIAC to make this media day a fun and informative event.
Good. We got Benedict. 2022 SIAC champions, but if you were hearing some of the things, this team, coach, they've moved forward. They're ready to do something special in 2023. So, Coach, I'm going to open up the floor this way in regards to tell me who you have with you and why you decided to bring these young men to the SIAC Media Day.
Okay, great. First of all, man, to God be the glory. Man, we're grateful to be here today.
Amen.
And these young men that I have here with me are two of our leaders on our leadership council. Not only are they great football players, they're great leaders, in our, especially on our defense. And to my right here, we have Luber Denellis, man. He's going into his senior season. He's an amazing, everybody know him as a football player, but he's an amazing man. And he's a man of God. He's a great student, and he's an exceptional worker in the classroom, weight room. But we're expecting an amazing year from him. And the guy to my left right here is Joshua Hayward. Joshua Hayward's been on our program from the beginning. He's not a transfer. He came in the high school route, and you're talking about a 6'2" corner, and you're talking about been a 3-year starter, and he's a ball on our defense, but he also already has his degree. So he's a great young man, great talent, great leader in our. Both of these guys are great leaders in our program. We're grateful to have them at Benedict College.
Joshua, and yourself, let me just say this first. Y'all clean up well. Y'all look sharp, brother. Y'all smile on here. I know y'all serious. You know, I'm not tackling no more. You ain't got to worry about me hitting nobody. I'm going to stay out your way because I heard y'all serious about that business. And the fact that you're senior, got your degree coming in here. But let me ask you from this perspective. What has you excited in terms of this upcoming season?
One thing I'm most excited about.
Oh, you fine. Go ahead. Let's pull it up a little bit so make sure we hear you. There you go. We want to make sure all the folks out there, they're going to call back and say they couldn't hear you. Mom and, yeah, we'll get you right.
The one thing I'm most excited about is
yes, sir.
repeat, just enjoying the process, putting in the work. It was like enjoying the process of putting in the work, the weight room, the practices. This is my last chance, I want to be able to experience that and take advantage of all that.
Yes, sir. About yourself, what has you excited?
Personally, kind of the same thing, just being around the guys. Some of the most fun times are when we were out there practicing with each other, when we were in the film room, in the classroom with each other, in the weight room. So those are the kind of things that we're going to remember when the game is all over with. So I'm just looking forward to being around the guys and doing our best to improve each and every day.
You have a follow-up question you want to?
Now I have a question now, Coach. In this new quest to go 1-0, in your new quest to go 1-0, Coach, this will be the first time. And me being from Columbia, this will be the first time probably since the 1960s, before they disbanded the program, that Benedict is actually the hunted, not the hunters. You guys will be the hunted. So how do you expect to deal, and how do you have your guys prepared to deal with that mentality of being the hunted and not the hunters?
I know what society says, that we're the hunted, but we're still the hunters. That's the mindset that I have with my young men. I mean, we don't even know what happened in 2022, to be honest with you, man. We have no idea, because we're so excited about this new season, this new team, but the same mission is to go 1-0 every day. Our team is hungry. I mean, most of those guys are back, and obviously we had a great year last year, but man, we got a sour taste in our mouth about the playoffs, and we're hungry, man. These kids are locked in. They're so focused. We have a really good football team coming back. I won't sit here and say we don't. I mean, we have a really good football team coming back, and those guys are believing. Those guys are disciplined. We have great leadership. We have great coaches, and I think we got a chance to go 1-0 every day. And I really like our football team. I really do. I love our football team, because I think we got some amazing young men that are 100% bought into our process, and that's to get better every day, win the day, and just be the best we can be each and every day.
Coach, I don't even play for you, but I'm hungry and I'm ready, and I'm going to win every day as well. Seriously, I like that. Last thing I got for you, we switching up, but I got to ask the young men, why do you like playing for Coach Bell?
He's a great leader. He's a great role model. He puts God first, so it's really easy. He makes it really easy to play for him, because he actually cares about us off the field. So when he's coaching us up on the field, we know it's not coming from a place of ego. We know it's coming from all levels, because he actually wants us to be not only great football players, but a great man once the game of football is over.
he's just so inspirational. And he's a great speaker. Like we got we got team meetings at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he always got like a great message, like a speech to say to us. You know, it'll get us fired up, ready for practice. You know, that's why I like Coach Barry. You know, he's very inspirational.
Hey, I'm ready for the season. I can't wait to see y'all. I'm gonna have to find a way to get down there to Benedict, man. See y'all in action. See y'all play on the turf. Good luck this season, and appreciate your time, Coach.
Man, listen, just because I like you, man, just because I like you, I'm going to leave you with a poem. My players haven't even heard this poem yet.
Let's go.
It's about getting a young man ready for the game of life, and it's called the game of life.
Right.
Life is a game with a glorious prize if you only play it right. It gives and takes, it bends and breaks, and it often ends in the fight. But he who surely wins, who honestly tries, regardless of wealth or fame, you can never despair who plays it fair. How are you playing the game? Do you wilt and whine when you fail to win in the manner that you think you're due? Or do you snare at the man in case he can and does do better than you? Or do you take your rebuff with an annoying grin and laugh because you pull up lame? Does your faith hold true when your whole world's blue? How are you playing the game? Get in the thick of it, friends, no matter what your chairs go. Brace up your thrill to your pulse, thrill and dare to your very soul. Do something more than make a noise. Let your purpose burst into flames as I plunge with a cry. I shall do or die. Then you playing the game. Let's get it, baby. Want to know?
Game, baby. Let's go.
Coach, I got one more year of eligibility, Coach. I'm ready to get out there myself, Coach. I got to go.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that tidbit. I take that all day. God bless.
Let's get it. Game of life, baby.
Yeah, live.
Game of life, man.
We staying here as we set up. Y'all just heard from Benedict. You see why he has his players ready to go. But we got Edward Waters coming up, Coach Morgan, and Deshaun and Dontrell coming up here as they get ready. And they come in. They look the part as well. I mean, they got jackets made. I was going to tell, but I need to know where you get your suit tie from. I need to get me one, Coach. Go ahead and take your time, get set up there. Put on your headsets. Edward Waters University. You fine. It twist over. There you go. Yep. As we looking at Waters, transition from NAIA, NCAA Division II, full members of the SIAC as they close out on that chapter, getting ready for the second season here in SIAC time. Coach, tell me who you have with you and why do you have these guys?
All right, I'm blessed to have two esteemed student athletes here, and I do truly mean that, student athletes. To my right here, I have from Miami, Florida, a 3-year starter now at free safety and strong safety, Mr. Dontrell Roll. And why I have him here, he's a silent assassin from that standpoint. He can move.
It look like you mean business.
Yeah.
Quiet with business.
And that's the thing about his spirit. He can move the team and the kids, the teammates, the kids that we come out and we work with. They truly respect him,
Yes,
just because he's genuine. And he does whatever you ask him to do with no back talk, and he gets it done, and he plays and gets it done at a high level. To my left here, we have our mainstay in our backfield, Mr. Deshaun Hugie. Yes, Deshaun Hugie. Now we have Deshaun here, he's a heck of a running back, and a better person. You get a chance to sit down and talk with him, just to see in the short time that I've been here the growth from a standpoint of him transitioning actually from a young man into true manhood now. Has been dividends over the last 2 years. He's had some physical setbacks. He got hurt at the end of the season last year, which kind of hampered him down the stretch, but he's back to 100% now. He ran track this offseason to help get that turnover ready. So we can turn some of those 40-yard runs into 40-yard touchdown runs. So I'm excited about both of these young men that I have here with me.
No doubt about it. I appreciate you, Coach. With that, I'm going to let Charles follow up with a question.
Coach, I'm going to go back real quick to that surname Roll. And anytime you hear Roll in the state of Florida, that means that's a ball player, right?
Right, that's a ball player. That's a ball player. Now, I know he knows the question that's coming next, so he gets it everywhere he goes. Are you related to him?
Might be my uncle. Might be. My mama says my cousin. I don't really believe it.
Coach, let me ask this question. The transition from NAIA to Division II, what has that been like for this program?
It's been phenomenal on many levels. Going from NAIA to NCAA, it's a recognized brand. So it's helped with recruiting. It's helped with added resources that we're able to provide for our student athletes, and then with that, it's just been a great experience and transition for now these young men to get onto a bigger platform, to be able to have their talents recognized, to have their academic accomplishments recognized on a stage that they're very familiar with, and every young man coming out of high school wants to play, let's just call it what it is on the NCAA level. So it's great for them. So sure. I'm excited for them. They've embraced it. They're to whom much is given, much is required.
Exactly.
So they've embraced it, and we've transitioned, and we're loving it.
Been a lot of power plays, a lot of transition to Edward Waters, going from Edward Waters College to Edward Waters University. Talk about representing the institution and your coach and your team. Why has that been so special for you, Dontrell?
It's been special for me because coming from where I'm from, my family, I got 4 older brothers. I'm always the quiet kid in the back, just waiting his turn. So when I came to this school, I wanted to make a change, and I wanted to bring my name out because I always, like I said, I'm always the one in the back. But I always was talented, always had the most skill, most IQ, most everything, but just never had that confidence. When I got here and got with these certain coaching staff, they just every day they push me to just be more of a leader, more talk more, and I got the respect from my peers. But when I got my coach's respect, you can see how my game went my freshman season to my sophomore season, how my game changed, the amount of picks, the tackles, the cut down on the missed tackles. Everybody was just assignment sounded. Everybody was on go this year.
Look like you're ready for a big season. Offensively, tell me what needs to be done for you all as a team, because I know you're team-oriented as you came in here, but as well as yourself. What do you want to see in terms of you measuring success?
From an offensive standpoint, as one group, as one whole, is trust one another. There's only 11 of us in the field. We all got one mission. Most importantly, it's not what we do with the ball, it's what we do, without the ball. Everybody's accountable for what they got to do. So between those snaps, between the whistles, we have to get out of it after it. So I just feel like, the main goal is to win every play that we call. The coach can call any play, but it's up to us to execute that certain play. And if we can't do that, then we take a step back.
Last question you for Coach as we close up and let you move as you can get to some of these other stations.
Okay.
We promise to get back with you and give some more long dialogues that will bring you on the show and really talk about the program and talk about what you want to achieve. What do you look forward in terms of this year? What do you want to get accomplished in regards to some things on the field?
Well, I've always never been shy about saying this. If they're keeping score, I want more points than the other person that we're playing against.
That works.
So from that standpoint, we want to go out and we want to win. In some instances, we don't always feel like the respect that we've earned thus far is always given. But again, it's for us to go out and continue to state our case. We can't worry about.
I like that.
We
State
can't.
Your case.
Yeah, we can't worry about what the other team is going to do. We can worry about the 58 guys that we have that we travel with on the road, and the guys that we dress. We control what we can control, and if we hold each other to the level of expectation, the level of accountability that we set for ourselves, the success is going to win. The wins are going to chase us, but we have to be true to each other. We have to trust each other and stay the course.
No problem. Last thing is, I just need to know where I get to tailor, where I get my jacket when I come down there. I want to look the part.
Well, these jackets are from the Coach Toriano Morgan collection.
I had to pull out my checkbook on that one. It cost some money.
Nice call, Coach. Nice call.
Coach, we'll let you go. I know you got to get to the other thing. We really appreciate your time. Good luck this season, young man. You're looking good, looking sharp, and you got me fired up, ready to play. We look forward to watching and following you all this season as we go through it and look at the ups and the downs. I'm sure there'll be more ups than downs.
Yes, sir.
So we'll walk all the way through it. Thank you.
No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab with BCSN Sports. You see we have Charles with us here, and we're going to continue to move it on as we move in here in Atlanta. SIAC 2023 Football Media Day and Hall of Fame for the SIAC here in Atlanta, Georgia. We at the College Football Hall of Fame, and the individuals getting it done, and folks are coming back and forth and things of that nature. Charles, I know you got up early this morning, but you look fired up, look like you're in the part, you game mode, so you didn't put your hats on. And I'm sure as you start talking through these coaches as they get set up, they didn't have you fired up. What have you enjoyed thus far getting things going in regards to the SIAC Football Media Day?
You know, I think each media day, each coach talks about their process. And I think each process separates each other. So you kind of listen and you hone in on those things in terms of what tries to separate each program. How could you not be fired up by listening to a Chennis Berry? But everybody kind of talks about their process to get these W's. So it's a very exciting atmosphere here at the SIAC Media Day.
Come on, AD Drew. I'm going to come straight to you. You picked us up, so I know you've been rolling. I'm going to give you a chance to share the mic just because you were nice there. With that being said, you've been a part of this for a while in terms of SIAC, and one of your responsibilities now, last year was giving us the D2 angle. Now you focus on SIAC. What are some things that you're filling out in terms of the Football Media Day in terms of thus far?
Optimism. Everybody is optimistic in July. Talk to them September 30th and see how much that tone changes.
He's already ready, setting them up.
But I mean, everybody's 0-0. This is the greatest time for fans where your team looks good. Okay, we know what we got. We're glad these people came back. We might be glad some of them are gone. To be honest, and then. You know, some people have new head coaches. You got players with personal records or career records that they're maybe close to breaking. Coaches who may have certain records that be close to breaking. And, you know, I don't think anybody's on the hot seat this year. You know, last year there was some coaches coming into this time. We felt like they had to win or go home, and some of them went home, some of them are still here. I really don't see anybody on the hot seat this year because all the changes were made last year. So I think there's a lot less pressure on all
and you
these
can
teams.
kind of hear that in terms of what they talking, and I'm going to bring you in on that point. I want to ask you, in addition, your thoughts on that, but also about this new format. How does that play out that it's not the East-West divisions?
I love what the commissioner said at the beginning of the press conference. Beginning of the press conference, he said at some points in time in conference history, you might have had the East champion might have been, or probably normally the West champion, had a really high record. They were 7-0 or 8-0 in conference, at 7-1 in conference. And then you played that other conference champion, and they may have been 500 or may have been under 500.
2016.
And that may have cost another team in the conference a chance of making it to the playoffs. But now with this combined format, this open format, you know, now you're going to have the two best teams in the conference. The two best.
Does that create a more of a parity within the conference?
I think so. And one thing, one thing is, if you know, let's say you're school B and school A is, let's say Benedict is 8-0 and you're 5-2 in the East, or you're 6-1 in the East, you know you don't have any chance of playing in that conference championship. So you're kind of your hopes, your spirits for your school, you're kind of down that last couple of games, and you don't have anything to play for really except pride. You're always going to play for pride. You're going to play for pride. But now I like the chance that you still have a chance to play in that conference championship game. Now, if we can move that conference championship game to a central location, then that's a whole nother story.
Jamie, let me get you in here. Before we get Morehouse, we're going to bring him in. Your last thoughts in terms of the new format.
I absolutely love it, because if you look at the way that the format is shaking out and giving more of the opportunity for another team to get into the playoffs, I love how it's shaking out so far.
I want to come back and talk about the schedule after we get Morehouse.
All right, we'll do that. We'll get in a little more, and we'll have time to get these guys to get their brain power to really tell us about that. But we're setting up. We're getting Morehouse in here as things get going. We're setting up. Usually we had a coach in the middle. Yeah, go ahead. as we're setting up and getting Morehouse room Tigers ready to go on this 2023 season. They're smiling. Focus got one serious, one smiling. We're gonna see what side that means. What's going on, Coach? How is it going?
It's going fantastic.
Good to hear you. With that being said, let me jump right in here and ask you one of the questions I've been asking everybody. You know, you have to select 2, maybe 3, as some coaches did. Why did you select these 2 young men to represent the program?
Well, when you look at the entirety of the team, you want to find guys who represent, who's going to represent you well. But more importantly, you want to find guys who are leaders. I think Marquez has done a terrific job since I've been there, leading on the offensive side of the ball. And I know Dalen, he was out this spring, but I know his history. And so you just want to find guys who can lead. And these are 2 guys who are going to lead for me.
Good stuff. Tell me who you have with you.
So I have Marquez Pride from Florida, Dalen Land from Arkansas. Dalen's a linebacker. Marquez is a wide receiver.
That's one thing with Morehouse, with the academic standards, you tend to recruit nationally. Let me ask you, how does it feel playing for Morehouse?
I would say it feels very good playing for Morehouse, even though we haven't been winning for the past couple of years. But as far as the academic success and the school itself and how prestigious it is, and being a part of that with the high alumni such as Martin Luther King, Samuel L. Jackson, and those figures, I just think it's good just to be a part of that legacy.
Man, that roll off your tongue pretty impressive there. Tell me yourself, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, sir. It's a blessing. Honestly, it's a blessing to be able to play football and get a great degree, an honorable degree from Morehouse College, and to be able to do both in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, you can't beat it.
I agree. What is it like playing for Coach?
Coach Wilcher, really? Coach Wilcher, actually, if I can share this is my frat brother. You know. Y'all already know. Y'all know how we get down. But now, Coach, like I said, yes, sir. Like I said, Coach Wilcher, man, he gonna hold everyone accountable. You can go in his office and have a conversation with him about anything, what was on TV. But at the same time, I know I can come to him and talk to him about life lessons or what's going on the field. So I think that's a blessing in itself to have a mentor and a head coach.
And you only get that at HBCUs. That's
yes,
part
absolutely.
Of the sporting HBCU diaspora I talk about.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it went off. It was so spontaneous, but you can feel it heartfelt. Come on in here. Ask me the same, Coach Wilson. Why?
I just feel like, honestly, ever since the first interview when we had him in here, I just felt the connection instantly. You know, I was telling everybody on the team, like, you know, this is the coach. This is the one we need. You know, everybody was kind of agreeing. So. And then once the spring got started, just seeing how he coached, how he moved around, how he involved with everyone, how he hold everyone accountable, how he just interact with everyone and make everyone feel like, you know, they're special, but also holding everyone accountable. I just feel like it was just a perfect match. And the fact that he's also alumni makes the connection even more closer. So.
Yes, sir. Coach, when it's time for contracts, you know who to call.
Right.
First of all, Blue Fi.
Right,
Blue Fi. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
now
it's a little too much.
No, it's a lot of blue around. but I've been around.
Blue sky. I got it. I'm an alpha man. That's why we tease.
Oh, okay. I'm like, all right.
But being around this program for the last few years, Dalen, I've seen you absolutely murder people. Okay, from a football standpoint.
Yes, sir.
Marquez, I've seen you make phenomenal catches.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Nice.
How is this program trending forward? What do you see that with the coaching change? And, of course, that's never easy because you get attached to, you know, different people, different personnel. You do it all the time. How has this transition been?
I think the whole coaching staff, from offensive coordinator to quarterback coach to defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, the type of discipline and holding accountable that they're having, it just make every single player want to be their best in every situation at all times. So that's what I feel like is the biggest difference.
The biggest difference for me, it's kind of refreshing. It's a clean slate. We have nothing to lose. I know we went 1-9 last year, but we able to get everybody neck They don't know what we're doing. We able to blitz, throw the ball. It's like, every team we play, they don't know what to expect. I mean, so that's just an element of surprise that we're gonna be able to bring to every game in every conference.
And I also feel like with the new coaching staff, I just feel like you have to reprove yourself all over again. And I think that's really shows who's the strongest, who really dedicated, and who really hungry, and not look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a thing of like, okay, we got a new coaching staff. I got to show them who I am and believe in who I am and make sure they can see the person I see in myself. So that's what I think. Also.
Make everybody work harder.
This is one of the few colleges and universities where you can really get into the players and the coaches can just sit back and be
it's
a beautiful thing.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. It's just great, and it's like that from the beginning of my roster to the end of my roster.
Wow.
And that's one thing we talk about. I mean, we talk to these guys, and you talk about things I've learned in other places, right? We talk about media training, how to talk, what you should do, and then we're always coaching. So in between interviews, I'm gonna be over there like, look, you can't do this, you can't say this, or you got to clean this up. But it's just like the game of football, right? Sideline adjustments in between plays. Hey, look, we need to do this. Hey, Dalen, I need you to hit the B gap, not the A gap when this happens, right? So it's just understanding the whole game.
Am I reading this right? I see a silent confidence. Why? Why is that? Am I reading that right? I guess first.
I would say, why not? Right? Why not? Right? We are Morehouse men. Right. And I said something earlier the other day, and it jumped off. Right. Let's talk about the power of the M. He's from Arkansas. He's from Florida. We can go across the country. We can walk into anybody's home and recruit and put the M on the table, and we put it against anybody. We put our education, world-class education. We go against Harvard, Princeton. It don't make no difference. Michigan, right? Now we got to get the football so we can put that against everybody, and then we'll be complete.
Nice. We're bringing that dog all season.
Quick. Well, I know we about to end this thing, but just from a football standpoint, I know you say you're not giving away anything up there because you wanted to be a surprise. You wanted to like paratroopers. But do you see this offense improving from your standpoint?
Oh, yes. I see it improving just because our offensive coordinator, he don't play. Okay. That's all I can say. He don't play. And he's going to force you to play your best.
Let me say this. The offensive coordinator we met in 1997. We coached together at the University of Massachusetts, and then we interned together with the Chicago Bears.
I love the history.
So we've been knowing each other a long time. Not only that, we coached against each other. He was at Princeton and Lafayette. I was at Lehigh. He was at Morgan State. I was at Delaware State. So we've done battle. So when selecting an offensive coordinator, I wanted somebody who had a strong personality, who I know we get it right, and we come from the same background. We cut from the same cloth. So I can get it how I want it.
I can't wait until further in the season we get into this. And as we get up to it,
yes, sir,
because we'll bring you on the show, we'll get a chance to have a little fuller dialogue on this, because this is a very fascinating, great interview, yes, obviously, because of the time.
Yes,
we're going to let you move on to make sure that other folks can get to you, but we can talk about this all day.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Professor at the university level. So I see the academic side with the athletic side, and y'all fitting it like hands and gloves. So I'm excited and proud to look forward to the season and see what's going on. So I'll keep up with you. Take the time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Pleasure. As we transition, and keep moving and things of that nature. You just heard from the Morehouse, and you see they focused. They ready, getting it done, both athletically, and they going to recruit nationally. Young men excited in terms of what they're doing there. So it's been really good in regards to what's playing out here. So, again, we're in Atlanta, SIAC 2020-23 Football Media Day and Hall of Fame banquet in terms of how they looks, and we got a next group coming up in regards going on. So we have the Miles Golden Bears, Fairfield, Alabama, stepping up and getting it done in terms of what that looks like as they put on the headsets and get engaged and get ready up. We'll get talk about that as we're producing that, ready to go. With that being said, Coach Shade, tell us a little bit about who you brought with you. And I always like to ask this question because a huge roster, right? A lot of players are stellar, playing well, but there's a certain reason that you decided to bring these two young men. Why these two young men?
Okay, first off, Coach Sam Shade, head football coach, Miles College.
Yes.
I brought two guys. One's an offensive lineman, one's a defensive lineman. One of the reasons is it starts up front with me. I'm a big believer that it starts up front on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And also, both of these young men are great leaders in our program on both sides of the ball. So first off, Tyler Lowry, he's our center. He actually missed last season, and we missed him tremendously, his leadership that he brings. And so we're excited about him being back. He's a redshirt junior. And also we have a redshirt junior, Roosevelt Thompson, one of our defensive tackles, started for us last year every game that he was healthy. He had some games he was a little bit banged up in and out of the lineup, so that hurt us some. But we've got both of these guys back this year and excited not only about their play that they bring, but also the leadership. We felt like we missed that last year, so we're excited about it.
Bob, pass it over to Charles. I just gotta ask: do y'all like smile at all? I mean,
not at all.
I just kidding. Hey, look serious, man. Look, I'm not going to hit anybody today. And, you know what I'm saying? We good. Y'all have me fired up, ready to focus. But we're going to have a little fun. Game time, we'll get a chance to get out here and you'll get out to mix it up. But, you know, this is SIAC.
Good football. Good football. Great football.
Great football. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, Coach, and that's one of the things I noticed each coach kind of talked about the talent level in this league. When you kind of take a look from year one going into year two, what has been the biggest thing in terms of leapfrogging, if you will, within the program moving into the year two?
Well, you know, for us, you know, I talked about it earlier, but there were some guys off that 21 team that graduated that were really good players at Miles College. So, you know, I get there, and then there's some guys that had gotten in the transfer portal before I got the job. So, you know, you lose a good amount of talent before you even play a game. And then we get into the season. We had some injuries. We lost 3 starters on offense the first game for the year. And so for us, one of the biggest things is just going to be staying healthy and having that depth that creates competition at each position. I feel like we were lacking that last year. We just didn't have that competition at each position, and because of injuries we got down to we played some guys that weren't scholarship guys, but it was next man up mentality for us.
Obviously professional background. In terms of coaching mentorship, is there styles that you bring to this head coaching position?
Well, you know, I've been fortunate to have played for and worked under some really good head coaches, some guys that have been successful. Actually, my high school head coach, a guy by the name of Ron Cheatham, he passed away a couple years ago, but I feel like I learned a lot from him, you know, just in being disciplined and working hard. Also, my college head coach, Coach Gene Stallings, same thing. And you know, there's some other guys that I could name, but I'm big on I feel like we've got to be able to run the ball on offense, and people say, well, people are throwing the ball more. Well, when you're throwing the ball a lot and you can't run it, you make yourself one-dimensional, and I feel like that helps the defense. That helps guys like Roosevelt know that I don't have to play the run. I can just rush the pass. You know, so that helps him. Defensively, same thing. We weren't consistent stopping the run, so we've got to be able to stop the run because now we're trying to make that offense one-dimensional. And so if we know that guy's got to drop back and throw the ball, guys like Roosevelt up front and our defensive ends, pass rushers, they can get after him. And then that makes our secondary job a little bit easier. But, you know, we just weren't consistent in those areas on either side of the ball, and we feel like that hurt us. And so we've tried to address that.
Yeah. Tyler, I want to follow up with you in terms of coming back, not being able to play a full season last year. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Oh, I feel great about the upcoming season. Last year it was, you know, bad for me, and I feel like I let myself down and a lot of people on the team down. But I won't let that get to me for the upcoming season because we're going to have a great season.
So what do you look, not just you individually, but your team on that side of the ball, what do you look for everybody to get done to help you have the success that you're looking forward to this season?
Well, as a leader of the offense, you know, I want everybody to, you know, do their job. Like, you know, offensive line, it takes 5 of us to do our job. Quarterback, running back, receivers, everybody. Everybody uses everybody to win or score. You know, everything.
I like that. Now I like that look. Now we're going to go back to the defensive side. You look focused, look ready, looking sharp. Tell us a little bit about, in terms of the style of play that you like, in terms of what you're going to need to get done, not just you individually, but also holistic as a team.
Well, I feel like the defense need to be more. We need to build more chemistry. Like, we already there, but we need to have more fun at practice so everybody be more bought in. But at the same time, I think we're going to be all right.
It makes sense when you talk about the chemistry that's necessary to be as effective as you want. What are some things, Coach, that you do to help build that chemistry and maybe get it done a little faster? I know a lot of folks talk about coming together, doing some things, not just in terms of on the field, but also off the field.
Well, you know, one of the things that we tried to do this offseason, we tried to bring in different speakers from different walks of life. And, for instance, but guys with football backgrounds, like I was able to bring in one of my former teammates, Darryl Green, a doggone Hall of Famer, and, you know, just a phenomenal and very a man of faith, very spiritual guy. And he's also a small college guy. You know, he played on a Division II level out in Texas at Texas A&M Kingsville. That's where he played at. And, you know, just having guys like that come in and talk to our guys about it doesn't matter where you are. Hey, you can get it done. Here's a guy, 5'8", played 20 years in the league. You know, so that's just one of the things, just having – and we've had guys come in that have had success playing football. For instance, one of my former players, he's a doctor in Birmingham, a former offensive lineman, came in and talked to the team. And, you know, those are some things that we're trying to do. And we've also got our FCA program started on campus, you know, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, just trying to bring those guys together, not just, you know, athletically and academically, but also spiritually, because we talk about trying to develop these young men, not just as athletes and not just as students, but also spiritually. And we can do that because, you know, we're at a school that's a Christian school, CME Church, you know, so I can, you know, talk about faith and things like that.
Yeah, so. Even more so than naturally.
Yes,
but
sir.
It fits in there. Roosevelt, going back to you, why the coach? Why are you excited about what Coach brings to the table and as the program moves forward?
Because Coach like to be very interactive with his team. He like to talk to all the players, see what they like, and he like to make practice more fun.
And yourself, same question in terms of Miles College. Why has it been such an exciting place for you about playing for Coach in this university?
The environment, and, you know, just waking up in the morning and getting out and doing something you love to do and doing it with people that love to do it the same thing as you. Like, Coach Shea shows us every morning, every day, that he loves coming out there and being with us, and, you know, being there for us, like in any type of manner, or, you know, for anything.
Fairfield or Birmingham?
Fairfield.
See, I do my homework. I know a little something. Last thing, Coach. Tell us just in terms of your excitement for the season, why the expectations are high in regards to what you want to get done throughout the season.
Well, one thing I do want to make sure that I say, because, you know, these young men have talked about myself, but some of the things they said, I feel like they were talking about the coaching staff, the guys that coach them, the position coaches, and I see those guys interact with them. And I feel like we've got a great staff, and they do a great job of coaching, but also loving on these guys and developing those relationships.
I'm glad that you brought that to the table. It's important.
Yes, sir.
Because it is the team atmosphere that really you take with you for life, no matter what goes on.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. And you just asked the last question.
Yeah, the last question, I'm just saying, what do you want to do in regards to this season that's going to take you to that next level? What has you excited about continuing to build this program?
Well, you know, like I said, I feel like we've added some players that are going to, you know, create more competition at each position, because that's what it's about. That's how you get better, you know, when you create that competition. And these guys know that I always talk about, hey, when you come in that weight room, you come to that field every day, hey, there's an imaginary sign up on the building, and it says now hiring every day. That means you got to earn that spot every single day. And that's life. You know, that's how life is. Mm-hmm. And, you know, hopefully that helps them long past football.
Absolutely.
Realizing when they go in that job every day, they better be at their best. or they'll go get somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we have a short period with you today, but look excited for the entire season.
Yes.
We promise to get back with you, bring it on so we can get a little more in depth and get a little more information about the entirety of the program. Special guys like yourselves in terms of this season. We look forward to talking with you, watching you this season. It should be a lot of excitement. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
With that, moving around, we'll keep talking and get some of these folks in here as we continue to move stuff along with what's going on.
Doc.
We're looking to get in Albany State, so we'll see if we can get that to you as we get going
Yeah,
in
nice to
regards
meet you as
to
well.
what that looks like. But Charles, as we continue to do a mix-up and get things going.
Was talking with Coach Shade off camera there. He's familiar with the athletes that come out of Jackson, Mississippi. So,
you find a way to get Jackson.
Yes, indeed.
We were here in Atlanta, Georgia, but we're going to go back to Mississippi.
He knows a couple of guys that are from Jackson. They played with him. James Robinson, Hollywood Robinson, played in the NBA, but he was there with him at Alabama. And then he mentored Fred Smoot, who was also an NFL defensive back, played from Jackson, Mississippi. And he knows a little bit of some bishops over there in Alabama. So we had a nice little conversation off camera.
Pretty good. So, Jamie, coming back to you as we kind of close up things and get our final part of this here. Coach, you want to get in here as we start to close it up and make sure we can get some stuff going in there in regards to that? Big play. Usually we have them sit in the middle, coach sit in the middle as we get going. We don't want to be too long because we don't want them running us off, coach, but we want to make sure we get you in here. Yeah, you know what I say, but I got to get you in there. I got to get you in there in terms of that. Yep, put it on there. Yeah, there you go.
I like to have that mic on the left side.
There you go, coach. We're ready for his headset. We got to get it going. We got the Lane Dragons in. Obviously, solid season last year, right up in there. One of the biggest things was the win when you stepped up FCS. I actually watched the game on television against Tennessee State. Played a tremendous game to get that done. But as you move forward, I know that chapter is closed. You get into 2023. Tell us why individuals and fans, particularly, should be excited about the Lane Dragons coming into 2023.
Well, I want the fans to stay excited about our brand of football because looking at where we were when I got here opposed to where we are right now, we're putting a quality product on the field.
No doubt.
We just had Andrew Farmer, who was not only drafted by the USFL, he ended up signing a free agent contract with the San Diego Chargers for millions of dollars. So we do have those kind of caliber players that are in our program. It's just a matter of the exposure of the kids and people and fans coming out supporting us on a weekly basis. So the excitement around the program, you're going to see a good product on the field. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to play hard, and we're going to play fast. And I think those are the reasons you should want to come support Lane College Dragons football program.
With that being said, before I pass it to Charles to follow with a question, tell me who you brought with you and why.
Okay, I brought my leader right here on offense, my quarterback, Jerry Gaskin, been in the program going on 3 years now, 3.5 student, very, very smart kid. From Memphis, Tennessee.
So I like that list.
Memphis, Tennessee. He has no choice. His dad is a principal, so he's
I like that. You say yeah, you're right. It ain't
but he's a young man that's very smart. Like I said earlier, I just need him to manage the game and get the ball to our playmakers when it's time to get it to him, and everything else will take care of itself. Then I got my inside linebacker, Mackenzie Howard, two-time SIAC tackling machine from Huntsville, Alabama.
To hunt the ball.
Yeah,
I see.
He can go get it from sideline to sideline. So I'm very proud of this kid. This going into his fourth year being at Lane. He should have enough credits to be a senior. 3.0 better GPA. Very smart kid, very humble. Does everything that both of them do, everything we ask them to do, on and off the field. So that's what you want on your program. Guys that when you go to sleep at nighttime, you ain't got to worry about getting that phone call. And I think our football team as a whole, we have a lot of guys that are like that, but they are football players, though. They're student athletes And you know,
we
we
just happen to be able to play good football.
Hey, if they got a pulse, I believe we can get them in the right position.
There you go.
Coach, let me ask this question in terms of what is it like coaching in this hotbed of talent in the city of Memphis? Because you take a look at all the talent, whether it's in North Mississippi or the Tennessee and Arkansas, but what is it like coaching there in Memphis?
Well, in Jackson, Tennessee, we about 70
Jackson,
miles.
Tennessee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is a host of talent in Memphis, you know. Before we leave out of the area, each one of my coaches have an area in Memphis where before you leave out the state, you go to Memphis, all right? That way, you know, with us having so many alumni in Lane from Memphis, you know, our face has to be seen in that area. You know, from that talent, if you look at our roster, we got a lot of players from I-20 South. You know, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Grambling. I played at Grambling, so I believe in what I believe in, you know. Won a lot of football games at Grambling, Coach. So,
can't argue about that.
So, you know, with the ties and the connections that I have with former teammates that played with me at Grambling that are now high school head coaches, I'm reaping the benefits of those relationships that were built over 20 years ago with guys sending their young men up to Jackson, Tennessee. So, you know, we changing the climate, you know, up there, and we're playing solid football. We recruit Alabama heavy, Florida, and Georgia. So you'll see it on our roster.
Let me make sure we get a chance to get y'all in here to talk about Coach and the program. Why are you so excited playing by Coach Brown? All right. Go ahead.
Coach Brown, he's just he's the type of guy that I know, like, when I come to school, my parents would trust him. He's God-fearing. He's always God first. Then in school, you know, like he said, student athlete. You know, you were student first. Then as far as football, his knowledge for it, he's been around the game for so long. You can't do nothing but trust him.
Howard, we got to get at least a word there. I know you got to get going.
Yeah, I say the same thing about Coach Brown. You know, he's somebody my parents could trust me with. He like my father away from home. You know, just everything he instills in us.
Good stuff. It's good having you. Sorry we had to keep it up short, but we'll find a way to get y'all in here. Make sure we get a chance to talk to you a little more this season. Enjoy your weekend. You deserve it. Great job, Coach. Continue to build the program. Continue to get it done. 2020-23 SIAC as we're welcome to the Hall of Fame ceremony. So we're shutting it down, getting it going at Black College Sports Network. Thank you for listening to SIAC Media Day.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention.